we're going into the way of a Bodhisattva. So this teaching has an introduction, main teaching, and a conclusion. Main teaching has chapter 10. So we finished already chapter 7. So now today we are in the chapter 8. Chapter 8 is chapter 7, 8, 9. That 3 chapter is like increasing bodhicitta chapter. So chapter 8 is meditation. So this has introduction and also in more detail explain. So more detail explain has so abandon the worldly and get rid of the thoughts, emotions, and also abandon the attachment to our loved ones. So also we abandon the material worth as well as honors. So we finish that sections. Today we are in the verses 26. Is this chapter has verses 187 verses. So we finish 25 verses. Now we are in the 26 verses. So here just main important is abandon the worldly activity and actually meditate equanimity, you know, it's equanimity, equalness, and also we have to recognize this worldly, whatever we're doing is no useful. That's always like more causes of suffering. So the wise like people who has wisdom, then they're going into forest for meditate. The reason is in the forest as a pleasant. And if you be with in the worldly charged beings have no pleasant, never ever you can make them pleased. So that's why this practitioners who has wisdom, they're going into the forest and meditate. So then you'll be with the animals and the wild animals. They make you pleasant for you. They're not going to create unpleasant for you. So that's why Shantideva said, if you really want happiness, you're really looking for peace and joy, and go to retreat and then be within the nature is more pleasant. Nature give you all joy and peace. So otherwise in the worldly activity, always changing, right? And so you are never ever get pleasant joy. That's why the also verses 6 is go followed by the verses 25. 26 is also together, linked together. So when dwelling in caves, in empty shrines, and at the feet of trees, never look back, cultivate detachment. What going on? Okay, so my voice is here is very soft, but come back from very loud. Who has the I mean who is the hosting? So okay. So now we look to the verses 26. Stay in the, we can go into the forest, means like just wire remote area, natural place. So we can stay in the caves, and also they have some country has like ancient empty monasteries, so no one live. Or you can stay in the under the tree. So then you stay that way, you don't have to look back into your worldly things. So if you go that way, then don't look back again in the worldly things. Otherwise, you never be happy and joy in the forest. So the main point is your body is be in to the forest, so your mind also must be in the retreat too. If your body is there, your mind is looking back into the worldly things, then you be in forest retreat is like create a suffering yourself, torture actually yourself, not pleasant. So this actually you can see main point is the practice, Dharma is like Shantideva also already mentioned about the laws. We have to practice control. Practice Dharma means we have to control our own mind, subdue our own mind. So you stay in this kind of place, like easy to control your mind. So that gives you good conditions for you. So then you have to practice. If you don't practice, if you get it there, but doesn't change you anything too. Otherwise, these wired animals already enlightened beings because they always be in the nature, So main point, when you get in this kind of place, you have to practice, cultivate, meditate. If you don't meditate, then just same as wired animals. Wired animals, no one they're enlightened. They are no free from causes of suffering, right? They are no free from suffering. The reason is even the body is in the retreat, means like in the nature wired place, but they don't practice, meditate. So we get there, we must be different from then these animals, wired animals. So what we have to do, we have to meditate, first we have to listen and teaching, then cultivate. When you get in this kind of solitary place, so we have to use that and meditate. Then you never look back, cultivate detachment. When share some to dwell in place, not cling to us mind, cling to us mind, which are by nature wide and open, and where I may behave as I wish without attachment. So then this kind of place actually not belong to anyone. They used to have laws like that, but I don't know this time, not many like that, right? So maybe belong to government or belong to societies that belong to individuals. So still some country has like wired place, you go there, so no one asks you to leave. So you can stay long as you want. And of course, during the Shantideva time, the mostly land is they're not really owned by people, just more is like, of course, the country say this is my land, but then they really don't, take everything. It's like there's, say no one can stay here, you have to leave, and no one said that. People can use, long as you want. So then that that time the good to like go to like that kind of place. So no one claimed it, like it's belong to me, and then it's a place is like more beautiful or just more pleasant for you. then you have freedom, and so you can practice there. Then you don't have much attachment for the worldly things. So no really conditions and worldly attachment conditions. So you have all the conditions for your support for your meditation. So Shantideva recommended that kind of place is good to go there, practice meditation. So then, verses 28, when shall I come to live without fear, having just a beginning board and a few or things, wearing clothes not wanted by anyone, and not even having to hide this body. So if you go to like kind of more that kind of remote solitary place to practice, then better don't bring expensive things in there, object. So it's not good for your safety. So that's why, so what you really need, important for your support for your meditation, so you get that thing's object. Then so something, like just no valued object. You don't have to hidden things, hide things like someone you have worry about someone come to taking away from you. So then your thing object is whatever you have is only for your support for your practice, your meditation. So this is like, say here is a list is like kind of more for the monastics. So during that time, the monastic, they carry the beginning board, and then they have 3 different kind of robes, and so nothing important to hide. Then you don't have to fears to anyone. So when share come to live without the fears, you don't have fears someone come to get from you, take away from you. So someone going to take and steal from you. So you don't have that kind of fears. So then you can, mind is become more free, more openly, peacefully you can practice and meditate. Then we go to verses 29. So this all is, right now is coming, this section is, abandon the attachment for using this cultivating practice. So long as we have attachment to, then, other worldly things, so you really cannot go into the forest like this way. Up there we talk about to go to forest, like no one belong to place to stay and meditate. So that's the reason. So first you have to cultivate all this section, what noise coming. We have, why we cannot go to the forest to practice and meditate, because we have all these problems. We have attachment, desires. So that's the reason we cannot give up these things. If we cannot give up these things, then not possible to go to forests and be with the wild animals and, like become meditate peacefully, no attachment, anything. So not possible, right? So that's why Shantideva said first, you have to cultivate this one. So having departed to the cemeteries, when shall I come to understand that this body of mine and the skeletons of others are equal in being subject to disease? So we go to cemetery, and you see there like bones, and you can see the like cemetery, there's all so many people dead there. So you can see that the tombs, and usually we can see go the like lots of flowers. So that means like the people passing away, or these people pass away. So So you see these things, then recognize also we are same like this same this reality, same thing, no different from the other than these people. So that's the reason we have to cultivate equally in being subject to DC. So you cultivate that, then you really understand the impermanent. That really helps you, release attachment. So we don't have a practice impermanent. That's why we really strong attached to our own body and strongly attached to our family and relatives. So you go to cemeteries, cultivate these things, then your understanding of how this worldly beings, the same is like that, same is like that kind of situation. So you recognize that, then you also know, oh, I'm also one day go to in this group together. So you realize that, and then helps you reduce attachment and understanding, like just more this worldly people's like future, what happening, or this situation you recognize. So you realize that, then really have for release your attachment. That's also during the Buddha time and after many generations, like practitioners meditate that way, So some like think about the Hinayana tradition, many monks also go to in the cemetery, they meditate, practice impermanent. Then Vajrayana also we call Chu practicing. Also they go to cemetery, they use this practicing in the and go to cemetery that does Chu practicing. So the main point that's really helpful, reduce the selfish and release the self-grasping. And so understanding like the, this our nature of phenomena. So that's actually increasing your wisdom too. So you recognize it that way, then whatever like situation in the difficulty come to in these lifetimes, you don't really too much upset, for that reasons. Something you have really happy and enjoy something, you're not really attached too much to that object. So your minds become more free, get freedom. So use this practice. So then also the term is like practitioners like comparing, the thinking about this way to practice and meditate. Then because of it is order, not even the foxes will come to dust to this body of mine, for this is what will become of it. So this right now, our body is like feature, then even these foxes don't want to eat. So that kind of, dirty object. So then why right now so strongly we are attached to, desire to holding this body? So that means like you just have to recognize, right now this body is impermanent, not really something, essence is like pure something great in there. So this body essence is like impure and a dirty object. So we don't recognize that. So this, you cultivate this, you just realize your body, what's going on. And you realize other people's bodies too. So then you don't attach to the other people's body too. So like men attached to the woman attached to the man. So that kind of like, become more release attachment. So longer you release attachment, then just you are free from suffering. So people actually, worldly people doesn't want to hear that way, and so they like to attachment. But the like attachment is actually is causes of suffering. Same is like, we have bugs flying. So they see the butter lamp, they jump into the butter lamp and they die there. So you can see the fishes, these fishing people cooked them. Why they can cook them? Because they are attached to taste. That's why they can cook them. So we are stuck in samsara. Why we are stuck in samsara? Because we are attached to, the other's body and our own body. So this many object, we are attached to the object. That's why we are stuck in the samsara and create causes of suffering. So you see the same is the elephant. Elephant is attached to the, mud, like smooth, right? Feeling. So they go in there and just lay down and they stuck there. They cannot get out. So die in there. That kind of examples. So we don't see this, but actually reality is causes of suffering. Main point is. Okay. And then we go to verses 31. Also, we have to cultivate this. Although this body arose as one thing, the bones and the flesh with which it was created will break up and separate. How much more so were friends and others. So then you see, think about it, like, our this body is like actually compound of phenomena. And so one day it goes like separate. Same is like junk cars. So car is beautiful, you are attached to that, but one day the car is junk, then just part pieces of goes separate. So that time you don't really attach to, you don't really love your car, right, anymore. Same thing, this body also one day will break up and separate. So then how much more so were friends and others. So also this our loved ones, friends, also same thing. They comes together and goes separate. Same is like we meeting in the zone. So we comes together. That means like if you come, so long as you come together, you go separate too. If you didn't come together, then you don't have to go to separate. So long as you comes together, then also there go separate. Yeah. So meeting is a beginning, then meeting has end. Long as we have a birth, we have a death. So our loved ones comes together, is become separated because it's just nature of a phenomena. Nothing is permanent. So we don't recognize that. So that's the reason we are strongly attached to the object, different kind of object. So you cultivate these things, then you can have the object, but really no strong attached to fixation to that object. Then one day the object is gone, so really struggling yourself, suffering. You recognize it's impermanent. That helps your mind is become freedom. So we actually right now is fighting for freedom. Our freedom is we fighting right now is for our permanent freedom. So how do we get permanent freedom? So we're going to get permanent freedom is free from attachment. Long as you are free from attachment, then you don't have anger too, because based on attachment, then you have arise anger. So you attach to the loved ones, then hatred to someone make difficulty for your loved ones, then you hatred to them, right? So that's why long as you recognize this, situation, this is the nature of a phenomenon. The Shantideva didn't create this. You understand these situations, then your mind is become freedom. So that is actually rare empowerment. Vajrayana, we talk about empowerment. Empowerment is a result. So you have to create something causes, get freedom, right? So then this is actually you wanting freedom. Reason is because you understanding this is samsara's problem, suffering. You recognize that, understand that. That's the reason you want freedom. Then know how to you going to get freedom. So you have to cultivate these sections. then you understand the nature of phenomena. Then you no longer strongly attached to this object. Then your mind's freedom. That is the absolute truth, the empowerment. So at birth, I was born alone, and at death too, I shall die alone. As this pain cannot be shared by others, what use are obstacle making friends? So when we was born, born was ourselves. When we die, is we go to ourselves. So then, as this pain cannot be shared by others, you cannot share your suffering to others. So whatever we create, that is we have to carry our, suffering. If we create the causes of suffering, that suffering is come to us. You cannot share for others. So you create the causes of suffering, something for reasons for others, but then the suffering is you have to carry. So example, you say, oh, I have to take care of my family. That's why I have to care these fishes or animals. I have to do these bad jobs. So then the result suffering, the pain is you have to take that suffering. You cannot share for others. That's why Shantideva said, what use are obstacles making friends? So then you create obstacles yourself. To the reason is like your family and your friends. That is like, crazy, means like you don't understanding situation, what going on. That means like you don't create the causes of suffering, something for reason for something, your family and friends. The suffering is you create suffering is come to you. You cannot share others. So in the same way as traveler on a highway, leave one place and reach another. Likewise, those travelers on the path of condition existence, leave one birth and reach another. So think about this one. We all samsaric beings, same way as traveler on a highway. We are on the highway in the travelers. Long as you get birth, you are already traveler. So they leave one place and reach another. So we can actually traveling in the samsara. You leave this body, you get another body. So like that way, never stopped. Traveler means never stopped. Likewise, those traveler on the path of a condition existence leave one birth and reach another birth. So we leave this body, take to another birth. So that's then birth is like countless, never end. That's all samsaric beings. It's a reality situation. Long as we are not get freedom, who has emotions, that person, everyone is a traveler, go to taking birth and reach to another birth, samsara. So that's why called cyclic existence. So until the time comes for this body to be supported by 4 pair bears, while the worldly stand around sticking with grief until the ashe retire to the forest. So before death arises, and Shantideva said, do something good things. So otherwise, when we already talked a lot about that, when you get ready to death, then that time you have regret something, it's too late. Then you wanted to do something, but no time to do because time is gone. And before this, our corpse is like 4 people carried to in the cemetery before that happening before. So go to the forest to meditate. So take the, retire to the forest to meditate. Then if you get in the forest, then that's the place is the perfect to practice. So that is 35. Befriending no one and regarding no one. My body will dwell alone in solitude. If I am already counted as a dead man, when I die, there will be no mourners. So when you get in the forest, retreat place, then so you don't have their loved ones, friend. You don't have like someone hated once there. So you don't have anything holding on your mind, anger, something. So your body is in the retreat. Then your mind also can be peacefully be there because all conditions, great conditions there. Then you be there is like, so same is like, already counted as a dead man. That is a practitioner's wish. That is Milarepa's wish. He has song of realization song yesterday I shared with you. So he talked about this, and I really scared, really fear for death. That's the reason I ran away from my home to forest, mountain. And now he said I get fear from death. So I'm realize yogi. I'm very happy because I can count the same as dead me. No one going to looking me when what happening. No one going to cry me. No one is like searching me anything. So I am same as the counted as dead me. That is he said I'm very happy. So the main point is counted as dead means like you must have to have like certain level practicing is no scared or no fears for death. So otherwise still you counted as dead means like you really scared when you die. So you get in the forest, but people don't know where you're gone. No one cry you, but that doesn't help much. But the main point, we have to free from attachment, and we are free from the fears from death. If we don't free from fear from death, then still, problem is there. Even you are in the mountains. So then verses 36. And as there will be no one around to disturb me with the morning, thus there will be no one to distract me from my recollection of the Buddha. So when I be in the retreat, so then no one going to distracting me because for my practice, right? So think that way. And you can take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. You can practicing, Yadam deities, Buddhas, and you can practice Mahamudra. And you can use all this just 24 hours practice 5-part Mahamudra. So then your mind is not any like, followed by the more worldly attachment, distractions. You don't have worldly distracting. So that is the greater one. Then therefore, verses 37, therefore I share divert alone, happy and contented with few difficulties, in very joyful and beautiful forests, peaceful and all distractions. So therefore I share divert alone. That's why I wanted to be alone myself. The reason is not any distractions. If be yourself. Then when you be yourself is happy and content with few difficulties. You stay in the forest, retreat, you don't have much difficulties comparing to the worldly activities. And in very joyful, then you're joyful because your mind is free from thoughts. Then that's why it's joyful. And a beautiful forest. Its environment is peaceful. So you have a object of attachment, desires, then your environment is not peaceful, not joyful, so not beautiful. And so your object is no distraction. Then object give you more joy and peaceful. So means like you stay in the retreat is have joyful, beautiful forest, pacifying and distractions. So you can release all thoughts, emotions. So then we go to verses 38. Having given up all other intentions, being motivated by only one thought, I shall strive to settle my mind in equipoise by means of common abiding, and to subdue it with superior insight. Then when you get in the, retreat, so you have only one intention. You don't have a lot thinking about it to do things. So then you have one intention, being motivated by only one thought is you wanted to practice meditate, only that's it. Then when you meditate, so you can subdue, your crazy mind. So that's the reason you have to use your effort and the practice. So that is the main point when you get in the forest. Not just only body be there, you have to the use some your effort to practice, because first you have intention to get there. Your intention is wanted to meditate, right? Not just only hide there, So you not escape from somebody's, going to killing you. So you go to forest means like you want to be meditated. That is your intention. That's the reason. So when you get there, you just cannot go to just sleep and eat. So you have to put effort and practice meditate. Then you can reduce your attachment. Then you can control your crazy mind. Then you can really get the peaceful, happiness. It comes from within your own mind. So that is the main point. We go to the forest and meditate. Have to meditate, practice. So next is like, so we have to, that's all is a part is like, we say we have to get rid of the worldly activities, reduce attachment worldly activity, abandon the worldly activities. So now you have to get rid of all also thoughts, emotions too. So both in this worldly and the next, desire give rise to great misfortune. In this life, killing, bondage, and fleeing. And in the next, the existing of the hairs. So this point is like, we have to get rid of our thoughts, emotions. And this section has like introduction and more talk about more details. So this is a more kind of introduction about get rid of thoughts and emotion. So think about in this life and the future life. So doesn't matter, previous life, this life, future life, 3 times life. Its emotion is create causes of suffering, great misfortune, give rise to great misfortune. Emotion give you that. So long as you have emotion, then you get in this life killing, a bondage and fleeing. So that's kind of a suffering in this life. Then it's countless actually suffering is dependent on the individual situations. So individual beings has a different kind of ways get suffering and the difficulty the life is. So we know that. Then also depending where you live, which condition you have. So not everyone is the same. Individual has so many different ways, have a difficulty, give rise to great misfortune in this life. And in the next, the existing of the hairs. So you follow that kind of way in this life, then future life is go more suffering because killing other beings and bondage and fleeing means like attachment and angers created so much karma in this life. Then future life is no questions, it's going to lower realms. It's a suffering. So now we talk about a more detailed explanation about abandon the thoughts and the emotion. So now this followed by just the when Shantideva shared this teaching is in the monastery. So then if talking about main, so its main point is like if you are man, then you have to think about all this not need attached to the female. So you are female, then not attached to the man. So that's you have to understand. And the words is like just you have to know which understanding, like whatever man says is woman, whereas woman says man. You have to take that word's understanding. Shantideva, he shared this teaching in the monastery, so he more used for the woman, but it's share into this teaching is nunnery, then going to share the men, like that way. So you have to understand that way, these words. So no abandon the, like attachment, the people, like men and the woman. So then also abandon the object of matter. Then we have to understanding, all these solitary places like qualities, beautiful, the qualities. So that kind of like many different, here has a different subject coming. So first we have to abandon the attachment, me and female. So that's the reason. First we have to know how hard to create this worldly life is first. So this worldly life is when you start and create is hard, and the difficulty create the cause also hard. So then you want to get rid of the worldly life. For the sake of a woman, many requests are first of all made through go-betweens, all forms of evil and even neutrality, notoriety, are not avoid for their sake. So now, if you're going to like start it, like think about family, for the sake of a woman, many requests. If you are man, if you need your wife or fiance or something, then you have many required to follow that. You have request, or you are a woman, so then you're seeking for man also like same thing. So for the sake of a woman and man, many requests. The requests are first of all made through go-betweens. So then first you have to go between many different ways. So that's it's also like depend the individual situations and request each other, wanted to know each other, send a letter each other, or just so many ways like try to know each other. And all forms of evil and even notoriety. So then you have to go through many difficulty ways to do that are not avoid for their sake. So you create no virtuous. Also you lose like your kind of honors, and just you lose like your so the praise like for others, or he doing bad or wrong things, like that kind of happening, but still you're going to do anyway, non-stopped. That also like creating, first already starting create a causes of suffering. So then I engage in future deeds for them, and where even consume my words. But these very bodies of theirs that I greatly enjoy in the sexual embrace. So then I engage fair deeds for them. So whatever difficulty you go in through that way, then also you spend lots your worth and money too, and will even consume my worth. By this very body of theirs, then you just attach to each other and get together. But that also Shantideva said not really meaningful in there. So low to the verses 42 are nothing other than skeletons. They are not autonomous and are identity less. Rather than being so desirous and completely obsessed, why do I not go to the state beyond sorrow instead? So then you get enjoy in the sexual embrace together, but the main point is like whatever you're doing, the object is nothing other than skeletons. It's just bone. Then also they are not autonomous and are identityless. So actually that is not permanent, and not any safety, like kind of like really belong to you anything there. Not really belong to anything. So that's why they are not autonomous and are identityless. So rather than being so desirous and completely obsessed, so if you have so strong, desire and completely obsessed that way, for no any meaning, because it's like skeletons means like nothing, object is not great, but you so strong fixation attached to there, that is not great. Then better you, Shantideva said, give up that. Why do I not go to the state beyond sorrow instead? Why I go to, give up attachment beyond sorrow, beyond suffering, go to liberate, give up attachment and desire. So whatever you put effort, hardships, actually the object is, the main point is not anything great in there. No pure object, anything. Its object is, you try to get the object. The object is dirty and no any essence. Nothing is really belong to you, something great things there. That's why better give up and meditate, practice. And then we go to verses 43. So this one also go along together, all these sections. So Shantideva said, also first the people has really, create like something treasure. When you like think about the merit, then that, that term is like engaging term is like create, each one is like treasure something. But really low to that is nothing is great in pure there. So that information is coming. In the first place, I made efforts to feed her where. And when it was rest, she bashfully locked down. So that's when you get married, and then just this thing about India tradition, So the cover something, and then the, you know, even you put up that cover, and but the fiancé or the lady is like just try to look down, shy, you know, curiously whether anyone look or not. Her face was covered with a cloth. So that means like you creating that is a treasure. So your fiancé is a treasure. But the verses 44, your treasure is truly reality is dirty. So then you create like so treasure, then it's become so dirty. So there Shantideva say you're going two extremes there. You know, you don't really understanding what going on. So example, like something very dirty is put in the really beautiful cover. So you think it's a treasure. But then one day it's like your nose all is dirty, then throw away. You don't care about that. So that kind of, you know, people worldly doing things. But know why do I run away? Upping directly be holding. This face that disturb the mind, as it is being revealed to me by the virtues. So when you have a strong desire, you know, when you get the married to your, like, you know, husband or wife, so now you really love to right now. So if only think about is you know, this watcher's food, and actually he talked already is foxes also doesn't want to eat. It's a dirty object. So that dirty object is you really caring about that. Then just know right now, you just let go away. Don't have to do that. First, you so care about the dirty object. Then after you see the dirty object is nothing, anything great there. So this face that disturbs the mind. So then you see, oh, that dirty object is disturbing your mind. It's so dirty. So you recognize before, you know, as it is being revealed to me by the watchers. So you know, it's like that way, and then, oh, this is like just anyway, not any good essence, the dirty object. It's let go of the object. So the main point is, Shantideva said this, or is reduce attachment. So what we attach to our object, we desire to the object. The object is usually we don't recognize, it's pure object. But then you really investigate, the object is not pure, it's a dirty object. That's why you can let go, attachment, desire. Same is like dead corpse, you know, comparing to when you get starting married and comparing, same thing, no difference, it's the same. Oh, so then you recognize it's the same as, you know, the dead corpse. So no any special in there. So good essence not there, or it's dirty. So that's why I abandon the attachment to, you know, to the object. So there's, you know, it's using the many like meditators. They have a different ways. Like some who has a strong attachment for female and or men, so they have to use this one to practice meditate. Then they have a different kind, you know, who has anger, they use different meditations. So who has ignorance, they use different something method. This is for focus for the who has strong attachment. And during the Buddha time, so one of his brother is a you know, Chonggao is like younger one. The boy is one, when he meet Buddha and he see this all this Buddha's like, you know, disciples, he really wanted to be with them. He wanted to become monk. But then he go back to his home and he has fiancé. He's so strong attached to the girl. So then his mind is like, not stable, it's shaking. So actually, anyway, he is not stable, that guy, the mind is not stable. So then when he come to see the Buddha, he 100% make decision. He say, I'm going to be monk. Then he go back to, and he changed the mind. So then one day Buddha take him to another place. Show the like, it's called the Singmo. It's another being. It's like really, really, old and female something. He telling him, this is comparing to your fiancé, who's better? He said, 1,000 times my fiancé is better. Then he take to another show something. His Buddha told him, which better? He said, oh, my fiancé is better. Then Buddha show is goddess for him. Who's better? He said, oh, goddess is 1,000 times better than my fiancé. My fiancé is really, really ugly. I really don't want her. So then he attached to the goddess. So goddess, he really wanted there. He practicing, meditate, practicing. The intention is he wanted to become born to the gods realm to get goddess, Dakini or goddess, that one. Then, so one day, Buddha powerfully show him, and it's who get goddess there, and then it's take into the lower realms, hell realms, like there has like hell realm has so many beings suffering. One pot is empty, it's boiling water, and so then he asked them, what is this? Why is this is empty? So then this, hell realm guide that told him, oh, the one of the person name is, telling his name, the Chonggao, he's seeking for, practicing and seeking for the God's realm. So he can be born the God realm, but after he going to die and then he falling to in this pot. That is for him. So then he really scared samsara. He doesn't want to reborn to God realms. So then he really changed his practice, meditation. Is put effort, is liberation, not thinking about anything about the samsara's desire, benefits. So that's the story means, like, and whatever you see, like some good object, but everything is comparing, right? So we have ignorance. Our eyes see something great, pure, but actually they're not really pure anything in there. So that's examples like this Chonggao. So Buddha shared these all different kind of ways for him to tending. And then he really give up, attachment and worldly, this life and the future life. So then he really wanted to practice the Dharma is for the liberation. So that's the main point here. So whatever we touch, the object actually you investigating, the main point that didn't have any really pure good qualities in there. Especially our body is dirty. Nothing is pure in there. So then we go to verses 55. Previously, completely protected her body. When others cast their eyes upon it, why must neither or master do you not protect it, no, while it is being devoured by these birds? So no, see this, people has attachment, desires. So the, if like boyfriend, girlfriend, or fiancés, or husband and wife, they always have these problems. So they're thinking about, someone just look eye, then they're unhappy, upset, why you look that person, you know, and someone say, okay, why you look to my wife or my husband, something like that. Always people going on that kind of situation. So 1 minute, I have to close the door. So we does like that, you know, there's worldly people who have strong attachment desires. They're thinking protecting each other, but actually create the causes of suffering each other. But then Shantideva say, you have that kind of attachment desires. Then when you know that the body is go to cemetery or vultures eat, you know, going to under the ground or burn the fire. So that time, why you don't do that? Why you don't protect that? So same body, you know, actually same body. First you care about so much, then you don't care about anything. So that's just like two kind extreme going, you know, this our worldly people thinking. Why it is being devoid by this birth? Then why you don't taking care that time? Why you jealous to the birds? Birds going to eat, right? Vultures eat that time. Why you no fighting with them? So first some people look to that person, you upset and angry. So no birds going to eat, fire going to burn. That time why you no upset? Why you no holding that time? So it's just called logic, you know. So then, since vulture and others are eating, this pour of meat that behold, why did I offer flower, garlands, sandalwood, and ornaments to that which is not the food of others? So now you recognize, you know, this body is like, you know, eating by these vultures, or, you know, usually we put in the, you know, cremate fire, and also maybe put in the under the ground earth. So why did I offer flower garlands? Then why you offering flowers to these vultures' food? So that means like when we are lifetime, the, you know, husband buy so many jewelries to for the wife, right? And even they don't eat. That kind of, you know, the information, the main point is like why you buy so many that kind of object to all the jewelries to your wife or your husband. Then actually the object is vulture's food, garland, and then we buy like so many the what is it called, the perfumes, so expensive object. Then you go to like say the many places, like, you know, have to spend so much money for create some very beautiful wares, right? And then if you buy like more expensive jewels, then it costs like so much money, right? So that kind of you buy and giving and doing things, but actually that body is not any really pure and good essence in there. It's dirty. And that body is actually belong to vultures. They're going to eat their food. Then why you create so much hard for that? So that means it's just easy going. Easy going is better. First, like we too much, but then it's nothing. Result is nothing. So that's what the people does. Everything what we do is too much, and then last is nothing. So you think about buy like $1 million cost of the jewels. So who wear that, the body is go away. It's become, the body is just in the fire cremate or goes in the cemetery. To that which is not the food of others. So that is others' food. So main point to see all these worldly people, husband, wife, taking care of each other, make each other is happy. So they buy so many things, actually no use for things, but it's actually the nothing any benefit to them, and finally is the body also no exist. So okay, so now is next is if I am frightened by the skeletons I see, even though they do not move, why am I not frightened by walking corpses, which are moved around by a few impulses, I think.
Impulse.
So if you scared the corpse, then why you not scared the rare people? Means like who has like really live people? Why you not scared of them? So see, I'm frightened by the skeletons I see. So if you see the cemetery, this bodies, dead bodies, you scared, you nervous, and then even though they do not move, they're not moving, nothing. It's same as just a piece of wood. Why am I not frightened by walking corpses? Then why you not scared with the moving corpses? All these corpses are moving, talking. So the main point, we are always corpses. We have to scare each other. Why you not scared each other? If you really scared like dead body, then why you not scared like moving time? Why I'm not frightened by walking corpses, which are moving around by a few impulses. So the just dead bodies become, get up, comes, everyone's scared, right? No, it's actually like that kind of everyone. Dead body is like waking up to walking around. So if you really scared for dead body, you really main point you have to scared this right now. People or is the same as dead body is walking, moving. They are more danger than someone in the already cemetery is gone. So 48 verses. Although I'm attached to it when it is covered with skin, why do I not desire it when it is uncovered? Since I have no need for it then, why copulate with it when it is covered? So we think we are attached to, because when there has a skin is beautiful, and no skin is like in the the dead body is skin is gone, then the inside there is bones, it's blood and flesh. I don't want that. When skin is covered, I really like. When skin is not, I don't like. So if you think that way, then so although I'm attached to it when it is covered with skin, yeah. If you attach to, why do I not desire it when it is uncovered? Why you not desire to when it's not covered? Since I have no need for it, then when it's uncovered at that time you don't need. Then why you have this copulate with it when it is covered? So this go together, the 49. Since both excrement and saliva arise solely from food, why do I dislike excrement and find joy in saliva? So we eat food, so then comes like, it's two things, right? Food result is like excrement or saliva. So we don't like the excrement. Why we so enjoy is attached to saliva, and means like kissing things, right? Why you don't like the other one? Because it's both are come from the same body. Both are actually dirty, no difference. So your just mind pick up, one is a pure, one is like good, one is bad. That actually both are, Shantideva say, is dirty. Not no one you can like say, oh, this is a good, this is a bad. It's both are actually dirty. So body is skin covered, skin not covered. Anyway, it's dirty. It's no difference. So why you say when skin has is good, pure, when no skin is dirty. So that is you created that. Actually, Shantideva say, skin is covered, no skin covered is the same, is dirty. Same is like when we eat food, is we don't like the excrement, but we attach to the saliva, and actually both are dirty. Why you like the saliva? So then go to 50. Cartoon too is soft to the touch, but while I find no sexual delight in a pillow, I think that a woman's body does not emit a putrid odor. Last for one, you are confused as to what is unclean. So then we think, oh, I like the soft one because the skin is soft. And also maybe you say like saliva also soft. That's what I like. That's why I like. I'm attached to that. Then Shantideva, if you like the soft, then you can use cartoon to is soft to the touch. Something you can use, some object is soft, not dirty things. So main point is body is like dirty. Then, but while I find in sexual delight in a pillow, so if that means like, oh, I don't want to like use like soft things, like just not the body. So then you think that actually you need to enjoy with like something soft things because you like the soft ones. So also you can enjoy with like pillow and cartoon things, soft things. I think that is if you don't enjoy with that, then you just like enjoy with become dirty, like not great ones. I think that a woman's body does not emit a putrid odor. Last for one, so you are confused as what is unclean. So actually, your mind is confused because you don't recognize which one is clean, which one is dirty. If you really want to clean, then you use something soft, things, object you can enjoy, but you don't use that because you really like the dirty object. So then this is like a little bit debating with like someone, has a strong attachment. Someone say, oh, why your attachment strongly for that? So he said, oh, I really like the soft. So then, okay, soft you can use that. Why you don't use that? Then why you using this like dirty object? If you use dirty object, that means like, your mind is confused. Thinking that they cannot sleep with this cartoon, then they say, oh, I cannot sleep with the cartoon, although it is soft to the touch, even though that's soft, but I don't like that. I cannot sleep with that. confused, negative, and lust for people, become angry towards it instead. So then, long as like these people have attached to strongly others like that, then you have naturally others' hand is you have anger, become angry towards it instead, because you have attachment. Other hand, you just naturally arise the anger to others. So then 52, this all go together actually. If I'm not attached to what is unclean, then why do I copulate with the lower parts of others' bodies, which are merely cages of bones tied together with muscles, plastered, covered with the mud of flesh. So then you say, I'm not attached to what is unclean. If you're not attached to unclean, then why you attachedly enjoy with this body, others' body, because it's your others' body is just bones, put together like with muscles. Then there's a plaster covered with the mud of flesh, just so like bone, and then put the flesh. So usually we burn the house, like inside is always like kind of a wood or the metals or something. Then outside is like make different, make nice and become paint some good things. So you don't see the inside what it has actually is nothing, is pure inside there. So then why you are enjoy for that? Then 53. So actually we have enough our own dirty object. So why then you are attached to others' dirty object too? So you have one already garbage. So then why you attach to others people's garbage? So like that way, it's this verses 53. I myself contain many unclean things, which I constantly have to experience. So why? Because of obsession for uncleanness, do I desire other bugs of faith? So we have already our own dirty object, unclean things we have. So then which constantly have experience, we have experienced that. Then why we so strongly, attach fixation to like obsession for uncleanness for others. So I desire others' bugs of faith. That means like no need to attach to others' object. So then they say, I like to I like the meat, they say, I like the flesh. I want to enjoy flesh. So then Shantideva says, if you like the flesh, that's also wrong. So the reason is here. But it is the flesh that I enjoy. So that is the like, who is the attachment person says, I like the flesh that I enjoy. So if this is what I wish to touch and behold, so then Shantideva says, okay, I understand. You really like the flesh. So if you really like the flesh, why do I not desire it in its natural state, devoid of any mind? So you don't really need the mind there. So your attach is for meat, flesh. Then without the mind, why you not attached to desire to that object? So then verses 55. So furthermore, any mind that I may desire. So the, who is a desire person say, my mind is attached to other object. So then Shantideva also give her, if your mind is attached to other object, then mind you really cannot touch to any object. So furthermore, any mind that I may desire is unable to be touched or behold. And whether I am able to touch will not be mental. So why indulge in this meaningless copulation? Your mind cannot touch, cannot really hold anything. So then why your mind is desire? And whatever I am able to touch will not be mental. If you can touch your something, that is not your mind can touch object. Your body can touch object. Then why mind is attached to the object? So no, it's like mind and the body is make separate. So if your mind, some people say, oh, my mind is really want this object. If your mind wanted the object, then mind how can want the object? Mind cannot touch to the object. If you can touch object, it's not mind, not be mental. So why indulge in this meaningless, copulation? So then go to verses 56. It is not so strange that I do not understand the bodies of others to be of an unclean nature, but it is understood indeed strange that I do not understand my very own body to be by nature unclean. Of course, we don't understand other people's body is unclean. That's okay, but even we don't understand our own body is unclean. So that is like really strange. Shantideva was really wrong something there. You have so bad garbage with you all the time, but you don't recognize that. And then of course you cannot recognize other people's garbage. So then go to verses 57. This also just logically, if you like some beautiful object, then you don't have it attached to the garbage. Having forsaken the young lotus flower, unfolded by beams of sunlight free from cloud, why with a mind craving for what is unclean, do I revere in a cage of fat? See, this flower, lotus flower, is so beautiful. So many ways, like, pure and nice, not dirty. So we not attached to that, having forsaken the young lotus flower, then why our mind is so strongly really attached to the garbage object? So that means like our mind is the same as this, flies, the bed, some flies really stuck with all the time in the, the, what is the called, the the excrement, always be with excrement. That kind, our minds become same is like that. Not be with beautiful object, really be with all the time. It's like unclean object. Then we go to 58. Since I do not wish to touch a place that is smeared with excrement, then why do I wish to touch the body from which that excrement arose? So our excrement make dirty even beautiful place too. Then we don't want to stay in there. We don't want to touch there. We don't want to sit down in that kind of place. Then why you want to be with the body? Because all this dirty is come from body. It's all source of this dirty is from body. You want to be with the body, but you don't want to be with the excrement. Excrement is come from the body, from which that excrement arose from the body. 59. If I am not attached to what is unclean, why do I copulate with the lower parts of others' body, which arise from the unclean fairs of a womb and are produced by the seeds within it? So then if we don't, attach to what is unclean object, then why do we have a copulate with the lower parts of others' body? Because that is the unclean. So which arise from the unclean fairs of a womb and are produced by the seeds within it. So all is like dirty object is come from the body. The body is actually dirty object. It's also source of that dirty object. Then why we are attached to that? If you don't want unclean object, then why you attach to that object? Then we go to verses 60. I have no wish for a small dirty maggot, which has come from a pair of faith. So why do I desire this body which by nature is grossly unclean? For it too was produced by faith. So we say, oh, I have no wish for a small dirty maggot. We don't want even smallest the dirty things, unclean, we don't want, which has come from a pair of faith. So then actually this body, which, by nature is grossly unclean object. So why for it too was produced, this body by faith, why we are attached to this body. So that's all just the same information, like kind of a little bit different aspect where to, looking to understanding the logically say, oh, I like this, I don't like this. Someone, they're just, even whatever they're telling you, like good information, so they don't listening. I say, oh, I attach to the solve. If you attach to solve, then Shantideva giving information. If you attach to solve things, then you have to do that. Or he said, no, my mind is attached. Then Shantideva said, oh, your mind cannot touch any object because even your mind is like no physical. Your mind cannot use any object. So then that kind of way, the person like have so many different thoughts, and Shantideva giving so many different ways to explain to, reduce the attachment, understanding that this body is like the unclean object. actually you study these things, then you really know, so like actually our body is unclean, you know. Usually we don't understand that way. And then some object, you have strong desire, the object, then you can use that meditation, you know, understanding unclean, it's impermanent. So it's all kind of like we already talked starting is corpses in the cemetery, think that way, become let go or the attachment. So no 61 verses. Not only do I not disparage the uncleanness of my own body, but because of an obsession for what is unclean, I desire other bugs of faith as well. It's very good, right? It's just we don't understanding. We don't say, oh, I have this really dirty object. We don't accept ourselves, not disparage ourselves. Then, you know, the uncleanness of my own body. Then same time, you know, our minds like attached to others, the unclean others' body too. So strongly obsession for what is unclean others' body. So that means like really, you know, our mind is crazy, right? So 62 verses. In this body creates so much unclean object. All source is unclean object. Even good object go into this body, they become is dirty. The body is all makes dirty object. So even attractive things such as savory foods, cookie, rice, and vegetables make the ground dirty and unclean. Should they be spread out after being in the mouth? It's truth. So we go to the grocery, all this beautiful food, good smell, nice object, it's go into our mouth, it's become unclean. We create everything's unclean, transform to the unclean. So that kind of body we have, then why we attach to the body? Then why we are attached to the other's body? So that is the truth. Then still we no accepting. You know, the reason is 63. Although such uncleanness is obvious, if I still have doubts, I should go to the cemeteries and look at the unclean body of others that I have been through away there. If still you have, you know, dropped, even this all unclean is we recognize, seeing clearly, but still you have dropped, then you should go to cemetery to look again. What really going on in the body is like situations. So that also helps, you know. Each verses, like if you read one verses, actually you understanding what kind of this body, but still you, if you have dropped, then Shantideva says, go to the cemetery, look them. And here, our like right now in Western cultural cemetery right now is like beautiful, actually flowers. You can see only flowers, good things. You don't really see much. But in the, you know, ancient time, the cemeteries, like you can see the bones, corpse, birds, then all dirty cloth, so many dirty objects there. So that's why they're usually used to go to cemetery, meditate, see this object. And the go to cemetery has a really bad smell too. Smell is so strong. And then you can see many bones. So also birds also stay there, you know. the body is always coming there. You know, in Tibet we have big cemeteries. Every day body is coming. And then of course the who take care of the cemetery, the person yogi, he cut the body and giving feed to all the birds. And then you can see all this blood, bones, flesh, everything there. So sometimes you can see all the hairs in there, nails, everything. So use the, you know, people go to see these things, cultivating, practice, meditate, and impermanent. So then especially nighttime is like so many actually in the cemetery has like of course the ghost. So that you can hear many different kind of songs, feelings. It's totally different than, you know, usually other regular place, right? The cemetery has different feelings. So that's practitioners go there and really recognize this whole city is the same as a cemetery, you know. So that's actually give you more understanding how these sentient beings reality. So we don't want to see reality, we just want to see only good things, right? We don't want to hear the reality, we want to hear only good something, voice, like praise, like good things. But actually that doesn't really help, that doesn't go away the problem. So you're really into the problem, then you can recognize and you can fix the problem. So same is a surgery, right? If you don't want to hear you sick, and then you don't want to see doctor, you don't want to hear about that, you don't going to care that. So if you accept that, you go to surgery, if go, you know, like difficulty and hardship, but you can recover. So same like that, if you go through that, understanding this way, then recovering our suffering, reduce attachment, recovering suffering. So this is really helpful. You know, your mind is become freedom. Not talking about you cannot have family. You know, you cannot have husband and wife. You can have wife, you can have a husband, but you understanding the reality. And one day you get this happening. You know, like it's like our loved ones take to the cemetery, or you know, which is like go first, we don't know, is who go to cemetery. You can accept that, understand that your mind is like free from this suffering actually. So that's we have to learn, you know, understand the main point. Sometimes people don't want to hear this object because we don't want to hear, oh, my body is dirty, right? We want to hear, oh, your body is beautiful. The words is saying, everyone like change the face. Your body is dirty, its face is become angry arise. Your body is beautiful, smiling, you know, happy. So actually that doesn't have you anything, right? So we're wanting to hear that all the way previous life, still we are stuck in samsara. The main point is not get rid of suffering. Shantideva, he just pointing our problem. So he's not talking about other problems. See, your body is a problem, the main point. He says, we recognize that if you recognize your body is a problem, then of course all body is the same, it's your body. So then you not really strong attached to your own body, then of course you're not strongly attached to others' body too, right? So then you just take care of your own body, but no fixation to that. So that's a good way to, you know, understand. See, we eat this all good food, but it become body create or is unclean. So think about that. Still you have dropped, then Shantideva says, go see the cemetery, see? Then you really recognize. So go to verses 64. Having released that when their skin is rent open, they give rise to a great deal of fear. However, such things as this ever again give rise to joy. So doctors maybe knows, doctors, nurses are more this kind of understanding situations, because doctors always surgerying, people's cutting the people's body. So they see the inside is all is a dirty object, right? So then you get fears. If you recognize that, but still you attach to the object, they're actually same as the doctors. Doctors cutting the body, then recognize the whole body is dirty, but then they're attached to the object. The main point is we have to meditate, mind, understanding all this situation, cultivate mind needed to release attachment. If you don't use that practice, even you see, you don't accept. If you see object, you accept right away, then of course the doctors can accept. Doctors cut the body, they see this body is so dirty inside there. Rent opening, they give rise to a great deal of fear. So it's opening the body, also we can see the fears. However, such things as this ever again give rise to joy and attach to again. Then someone say, oh no, body has a good smell. That's why I attach to the body. So Shantideva said the smell is not the body. Smell is they use something other object. So the scent with which someone's body is anointed are sandalwood and the like, but not that of the other's body. So why am I attached to others' bodies? Because of saints that are other than theirs. So whatever the use performed, good smells in the body, people say, attached to all the so smells so great. Actually the body didn't have a good smells. That is like something from other object. That is not belong to the person, the smell is like come from some other object, not come from that person. So then verses 66. Since the body has a naturally four odor, isn't it good to be unattached to it? Why do these who crave for the meaningless things of the world anoint this body with pleasant scents? So, see, this body is actually naturally is, full of odor. Isn't it good to be unattached to it? Better not attached to this body, because nothing is impure there or is dirty object. Why do those crave for the meaningless things of the worldly people attached to this, unclean object? Anoint this body with pleasant scents. Why use the, body is unclean, dirty object? So using some good smell is put into there, That's is like worldly people doing. So now we go to verses 67. Same information, this all is, and furthermore, if it is the pleasant scent of sandalwood, how can it come from the body? So why am I attached to others' body? Because of things that are other than theirs. See, same information, just the beautiful smell is not the come from this body. So other object come, the good smell is come from other object. Then why you attach to this body? Because the body didn't have a good any smell. The smell is come from other object. Verses 68, since the neck body left in its natural state is very frightening due to its long hair and nails, its yellowish, four smiling teeth, and it's being coated with the odor of dirty. So we think about it. If you don't do anything, your body, don't take shower, don't do makeup, anything, just live whatever there has naturally. Then you really see it's whole skating, right? We're doing all is just making up something dirty, is making up beautiful, but actually reality is terrible there. That's why we need a toothbrush, we need toothpaste, we need shampoo, we need all these cleaning things, we need cloth. So without this object, then you really see your body, what's going on. That's really good, right? So actually, I think this words is hold everything. That's you see, then you really know what your body going on. Why 69? Why do I make such an effort to polish it, like cleaning or wiping that will cause me harm? Hence, this entire world is disturbed with instinct, infinite, due to the exertions of those who are confused about themselves.
Insanity.
Insanity, I say insanity. So why do we make such an effort to polish it? Why you do all so much things, so create like beautiful object yourself? Actually, object is dirty, right? So like cleaning, wiping that will cause me harm. So same is like, wiping that really going to take our life, but you really taking care of that wiping. So same is like we taking care of this body, because this body actually is a causes of our suffering, but we taking care of our causes of suffering. So that's why we are so ignorant. It's the same, it's crazy, mental problem. All these beings, like same is a mental problem. The Shantideva said, just main point is everyone is the same, is a mental problem. Ignorant, because taking care of the something is the causes of suffering. So the whole energy put is create the taking care of causes of the suffering. So now we go to finish verses 70, then we can leave it there today. When my mind rises above worldly conscience, through having beheld nothing but skeletons in the cemetery, will there be any joy in graveyard cities, which are filled with moving skeletons? Okay. If you really understanding all this city is like, say it's like, cemetery. So this all moving object, everyone is, you realize, it's the through having a be heard nothing but skeleton in the cemetery. Then where there be any joy in graveyard cities, like, so you then why you are attached to the city and the public place everywhere? Because so you really know, or is like just same as the skeletons, it's moving always around. All skeletons city is a cemetery which are filled with moving skeletons. Then you why enjoy to there? Why attach to that? Okay, so I think we go to verses 71 to. Furthermore, these unclean female bodies, like mean body, female body, just anyone you can think about, are not found without paying a price. In order to obtain them, I exhaust myself, and in future will be injured in the hairs. So furthermore, this unclean, the body, you cannot find without paying a price. So you have to use something, like, you use paying, taking care, do something, right? In order to obtain them, exhaust myself. Then you taking care of that. And in future will be injured in the harems. Like future, our life is going to suffering. So just mean point, like we taking care of this our own body, or you taking care of your wife or your husband. So always like whatever you've taken care of this object, and then you work so hard and have to you taking care of that, your body and others' body. So without paying, you cannot really taking care, because you have to feed for food, you have to buy clothes, you need a house, you need a car, you need clothes, and you need insurance. Like, so you need all this object, desire things. Why we need it? Because it's due to this body, right? So we have to pay for paying a price, taking care of that. So we work for that, then we're tired. In order to obtain them, I exhausted myself. Finally, we tired, we create so much causes of suffering in future life. So the main point is here what Shantideva talking about. You recognize the reality, what is going on there. Then you can take care of your own body, no so strong fixation attached to that. So you can have balance, you can create a balance yourself, understanding. And then you have balance like your husband, wife, kids, everyone, then everyone is joy actually. If you don't have a balance, you are falling to another extreme, then you are suffering. So the main point Buddha said, don't go to two extremes. What means two extremes? Another extreme is so hunger and poverty. Like if you don't care about anything, yourself, your body, and your family, then you get another extreme. So extreme hunger and poverty is suffering. No any opportunity to practice Dharma. Okay, another extreme is like, say this mostly right now worldly is 100% energy is put, obtained for their own body and taking care of their own family. No any other than that. So that's why Shantideva has said, in order to obtain them, I exhaust myself. So that is another extreme. Then if you go to these two extremes, what happens? Future will be injured in the harems. So we learn this, what we have to do, we have to create the balance. So just especially householders need to go to middle way path. Don't go to two extremes. If you are maybe monastic something, okay, then you can go maybe one extreme, like all the way, like just solitary, and you can go extreme another way. But most householders cannot be go to extremes, otherwise you get suffering. And you must go to middle way and balance, you know, either way is a suffering. So you have to understand that. Not too strong attached to your own body and others, right? Otherwise causes of suffering. Only you taking care of that whole your life is your put energies for that. No any use for your life. So another way, if you don't take care into your body, then also suffering too. Because we our ability, our capacity level is not ready to give up everything. So give up everything means like you have some certain level, you know, kind of like understanding dharma and practice level. Then you can do that without suffering. So no other hand, you have so strong desire, attachment, you say, I don't need these things, I'm going to give up. You go to another extreme, you get suffering, difficulty, and then you get more difficulty, more suffering. So then you lose future life, you lose this life too. You know, no lose this life, future life, both, no winner, anything. So that's why it's like, especially householders, means who has family, and they have to follow the middle way path. It's to create a balance. So then you have a happy and joy life in this life, also something good future life too. So then we can leave it there today. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to do the.
I have a recommendation for tonight. I think you, because you've covered this very well this morning, I don't think we need to go through and read and discuss. I think we can just continue on with the remaining paragraphs, maybe start off with some questions. That's a recommendation for tonight, but that's my thought. Okay.
Okay. So we can see evening. What we can do, okay?
Think about it, yes.
Yeah.
I won't be in the evening, Eddie G.
What do you want, Mary? Maria?
I won't be in the evening, Eddie G, so I would miss all the other verses.
Okay, so we can see evening, okay? See you in the evening, going to do the dedication together.
I can't make it in evening, so that means I miss what you do if you do something new.
Okay, so then maybe we'll just make it into pure questions and continue on the next week. Anyway, we'll talk about it tonight.
Oh yeah, it's we cannot go today. This teaching is like tonight continue. Just we can discussion again. Okay, today what we did.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Otherwise, many people are going to missing.
Yeah, we don't want that. Okay.
Yeah. So then that's no good too, right? We have to create a balance, a good way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, EDG, please chant the prayer.
Sure. Emaho. In the center is the marvelous Buddha Amitabha, boundless light. On the right side is the Lord of great compassion. And on the left is Vajrapani, the Lord of powerful means. All are surrounded by limitless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness is the blissful pure land of Dewa Chen. When I and all beings pass from samsara, may we be born there without taking samsaric rebirth. May I have the blessing of meeting Amitabha face to face. By the power of the blessings of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, may we attain this aspiration without hindrance. Teyata Pinsadriya Awa Bodhanaya Soha. I lost the screen. It came on for an instant, it's gone again. Okay. Deyata pensadriya awa bodhanaya soha. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. By this virtue, may I achieve omniscience. By this virtue, may I achieve omniscience, in defeating all enemies, confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. As Manjushri, the warrior, realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. May the teachings of the great Rugumpa Ratnashri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you. That's good for participation EDG for you.
I was going to say that for everybody. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah. So that prayer asked to we memorize.
Yeah.
the taking test us.
Khenpo, the end of the prayer says until the end of samsara, but it seems samsara has no end.
So we wishing always end of samsara.
It's a wish. It's an aspiration.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So you can end like our own individual samsara. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you, Khenpo. Thank you all.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you.
Eat food, okay? Take care of your body. Take care of your body. But no attack to body.
No,
Go to extremes.
don't worry, I'll keep showering.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
and use some perfume, Mary.
Okay.
Okay.
But recognize that smell is not your body, okay? It's a perfume.
Oh, I know what I smell like.
Some other who has a good smell, but you recognize that is not come from their own body. Some like nature, something, essence, object, okay?
Okay.
I got it.
Well, right now is a good time to let go a little bit. We're not around many people, so
Okay.
we have opportunity.
Good meditation. That one is like used to with the the people recognize see Buddhist has so many different methods how to reduce attachment to the world using that way object.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.